Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Cartier Rotonde Chronograph, or more technically it's the Rotonde de Cartier Chronograph, if you want to say it that way. In my opinion, this is really modern Cartier, kind of at its finest. You have a nicely sized, dressy chronograph with an in-house made movement and a lot of the design DNA that you would expect from a Cartier timepiece. This is a newer watch for, I think, 2014, 2015. Actually, 2015. Some of these models actually might not even be available in stores yet, but by the time you see this video, they probably will. The Rotonde is a attractive round case. This particular model is 40 millimeters wide. It's about 12 millimeters thick, I think just a little bit more. A lot of the signature elements here that you have is a very clearly round case with straight, they're not attached, but they're not sort of part of the design of the case. They just sort of look like they're attached. Lugs, you have a little bit of this, it's a thicker lug, nice big screw there, it's a little bit rounded. There's a name for this design, I don't remember what it is, it always reminds me of musical instruments there. So it's a nice, attractive, substantial looking lug without being small. There's a lot of petite lugs like this and some more vintage watches that I'm not a huge fan of. So I like kind of the substantial nature of a design like this. The sapphire crystal is slightly domed, barely. You have nice squared chronograph pushers and a sapphire crystal there as the cabochon in the crown and the beading around the crown, and that is just very, very sort of Cartier in style. Of course, there's a black alligator strap attached, and on the dial you have a nice silver dial. If you look closely, there's a little bit of texturing. You have slightly recessed chronograph subdials and a nice frame about the date window there. It's very symmetrical, and you have blued steel palm style hands. All that taken together, of course, with the Roman numeral hour markers, just sort of yells Cartier. And I don't know for sure, but something about the size of the Cartier logo looks large to me. It doesn't look too large, it just seems to be a little bit larger than you have on some of the other models. The movement inside of here, you can see it through the back there, that is their 1904 MC chronograph movement. That is in a lot of their watches, like the Calib chronograph. You have that. It's an automatic column wheel chronograph, and here it's designed to have it's a 12-hour chronograph. So what's interesting is you have the full 12 hours, but you have no seconds hand. So sometimes you have on a dial like this, right here would be the subsidiary seconds, and you have just a 30-minute chronograph. Cartier decided to say, hey, let's have a full 12-hour chronograph. They're just not going to have a seconds hand. And if you really want to measure the seconds, go ahead and start the chronograph. So let's put this on. I always like to laugh about, before I put it on, the Cartier style of deployant clasps. Now, when it's closed, it looks very nice, but there's two things with this which I've always kind of, annoyed me. I just think they could do it better, and I feel like I need to talk about it a lot. So the good part about the clasp is that you can really adjust it any way you want, and you can see on both sides here, you have excess strap that you kind of fold over and then bend. One of the things I don't like about that is you have to very seriously bend the strap in a very hardcore way. So if you bend it like that and then you try to resize it, it's going to be tough. It's also not particularly good for the strap because it's so far bent. Also, you can adjust it on both sides so you can get a really nice, precise fit. Those are good things, but it is difficult to initially size it. Another issue I have is when you want to close the watch, it's what's called a tension clasp. So I'm pushing it here. Oh God, okay. I'm pushing it. It's not staying. All right, still not staying. There we go. Heard that click. So now I got it on, and once it's in, it's pretty secure. But I don't know if it's just me or if it's these kind of prototype models that we get a lot. But these are hard to close, and if you have Cartier watches, I'm just curious sort of how you feel about their deploying clasp. One of the things with the clasp is that if you don't sort of size the strap properly, the clasp might be too much, too low or too high or something like that. You can see it's a little bit lower here. You would want to probably resize it so that the clasp is right here, and then you see sort of the C shape, of course, for Cartier. But once it's closed, it is an elegant look, and that is a very distinctive Cartier shape. So You know, I like Cartier a lot, and I've just been thinking, you know, at some point they gotta fix this up. So I'm going to sort of open this again. You pull it there, and then I want to close it again. And again, maybe it's just me, but I go through a lot of watches. There we go. I guess there's a way of pushing it, but there needs to be like a little indicator here, so like push me. Anyways, so here's the Rotonde chronograph on the wrist. Again, 40 millimeters wide, so it's a very moderate size, not very large, not particularly small, especially because of the case thickness there. I think it looks really great. If you're the type of person that wears long sleeves a lot, you're going to like this. If you're the type of person that likes the look of a chronograph watch, but wants sort of something that's a little bit dressier and sort of mid-sized, I think you're going to like this. So there's a lot of versatility here. Of course, you know, erring on the side of being a dress watch. I find this to be legible, especially with the silver dial and those high contrast hour markers in hand. So overall, the Rotonde chronograph is a winner for me, and I like it a lot. Here it is in steel. It also comes in rose gold, and there's a limited edition of 300 pieces in white gold, which has a blue dial with silver subdials, which looks really, really cool as well. But of course, those are going to be more expensive. In steel, not the cheapest watch, but you know, for in-house made chronograph movement and Cartier name and all that, I think they do a pretty good job. So in steel, the price is $9,050. In 18 karat rose gold, it's $23,700. And in white gold, it is $25,400. And you can see the full review of the Rotonde chronograph on aBlogtoWatch soon. Thanks.